What if the biggest mistake during a stroke doesn't look dangerous at all? What if it feels calm, reasonable, even smart? Every 40 seconds, someone in America has a stroke, and many of them make this one quiet decision that changes their life forever. The biggest mistake you can make during a stroke isn't panicking. It's hesitation. Today, I'm going to tell you exactly why hesitation ruins lives and what you should do instead. This could save your life or someone you love. Here's something most people don't know. Your brain uses about 20% of all the oxygen in your body, even though it's only about 2% of your body weight. When a stroke happens, blood stops flowing to part of your brain. And when that happens, brain cells start dying right away. Think about this. Almost 2 million brain cells die every single minute during a stroke. That's about 32,000 brain cells every second. Every minute without help is like your brain aging 3.5 weeks all at once. Doctors have medicine that can help stop a stroke, but it only works if you get to the hospital fast enough. The most common medicine, called TPA, a clot-breaking drug, must be given within 4.5 hours of when symptoms start. It works best within the first 3 hours. There's also a procedure where doctors remove the clot directly. People who get help within 90 minutes do much better than people who wait even an hour longer. Getting help fast means a much better chance of getting back to normal life. Waiting means a higher chance of lasting damage or even death. Here's the tricky part. Most strokes don't start with a big dramatic collapse like in the movies. They often start small. A little weakness in one arm. Some words that come out wrong. A bit of dizziness. Because it feels small, people think it's not serious. So they wait. Sometimes the symptoms even get better for a little while. This fools people into thinking the danger is over. But it's not. When symptoms disappear, the danger hasn't passed. The clock has started. Those temporary symptoms are often mini-stroke warning signs, called TIs. A mini-stroke means a bigger stroke could happen within just hours or days. Before we keep going, I'd love to know where you're watching from. If this video is helping you understand stroke warning signs, type "great" in the comments. Or type "improve" if you think we can do better. And if you want to learn more life-saving health tips, subscribe to Knowhow and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. And this is where everything goes wrong. Hesitation. Sitting down to rest and hoping it passes. Not wanting to bother anyone. Telling yourself it's probably nothing. This feels like the smart, calm thing to do. But it's actually very dangerous. Stroke symptoms don't look like what people expect. In movies, a stroke looks like someone suddenly falling down dramatically. But in real life, most strokes start quietly. One side of your face droops a little. One arm feels weak. Your words come out a bit mixed up. It doesn't feel like an emergency. So your brain starts making excuses. Maybe I slept on my arm the wrong way. I'm just really tired today. It must be my medication. These thoughts feel normal and reasonable. But while you're sitting there thinking, millions of brain cells are dying every single minute. Think about what happens if you wait just 10 to 15 minutes. In 10 minutes, about 19 million brain cells have already died. In 15 minutes, that number is nearly 29 million. Gone forever. All while you sit there hoping things will get better. Waiting during a stroke is not being calm. Waiting is damage. Every minute you do nothing, you're giving up brain function. You're putting your ability to walk, talk, and take care of yourself at risk. The longer you wait, the worse things get. Here's a story that happens way too often. An older man feels sudden weakness in his arm and gets a little confused. He decides to lie down for a nap. He thinks sleep will help. He doesn't want to worry his kids. 2 hours later, he wakes up and can't move the whole left side of his body. His speech is so hard to understand that nobody can figure out what he's saying. And now it's too late for the best treatments. This same story plays out thousands of times every single day. Someone waits, hopes, and by the time they ask for help, the damage is already done. And the worst part? It didn't have to happen. If that man had called 911 right away, he might have fully recovered. If hesitation is so dangerous, why do so many people do it? Understanding the reasons can actually help you break through them when it really matters. First is the stoicism that many seniors were raised with. A lot of older people were raised to be tough and not complain. They grew up during hard times and learned to push through pain without making a big deal of it. Walk it off. Stop fussing. That kind of thinking kept them strong back then. But during a stroke, it can cost them everything. Many seniors are proud and independent. They've spent their whole lives being the strong one. The idea of suddenly needing help feels like a loss. They don't want to be a burden, so they wait. Some people are scared of looking silly. What if they call 911 and it turns out to be nothing? The fear of overreacting, of wasting the paramedics' time, stops them from calling. That fear of embarrassment can end up causing permanent disability. A lot of older people live alone, and that makes things even harder. When you live by yourself and something strange happens, there's nobody around to say, "That doesn't look right. We need to call for help." And a stroke can actually make it harder to think clearly. Then there's the habit of blaming everything on getting older. Feeling forgetful? I'm just getting old. Bad balance. My legs aren't as strong as they used to be. When you expect your body to decline, it's easy to brush off warning signs. Here's the truth. It is much better to feel embarrassed in the hospital than to end up disabled at home. It is much better for paramedics to tell you it was a false alarm than to lose your ability to walk, talk, or look after yourself. You can't call for help if you don't know something is wrong. The easiest way to remember stroke warning signs is with one simple word: fast. F stands for face drooping. One side of the face suddenly droops or goes numb. When you ask the person to smile, only one side goes up. A stands for arm weakness. One arm suddenly becomes weak or hard to lift. Ask the person to raise both arms at the same time. If one arm drifts down or can't go up, that's a red flag. S stands for speech problems. Words come out slurred, or they can't speak at all, or they say words that don't make any sense. T stands for time to call 911. The moment you notice any of these signs, call 911 right now. Don't wait to see if it gets worse or better. Besides fast, there are other warning signs. Sudden loss of balance, sudden dizziness, sudden trouble seeing, a very sudden, very bad headache, sudden confusion. The key word here is sudden. A stroke comes on fast, within seconds or minutes. Sudden and strange always means emergency. A lot of people make the mistake of testing the symptoms first. They wait 5 minutes to see if the arm weakness goes away. This waiting wastes precious time. The moment you notice any fast sign, call 911. Don't test. Don't wait. If this video is helping you, please take a second to hit the thumbs up button right now. It really helps this video reach more people who need to know why waiting during a stroke is so dangerous. Now let's talk about exactly what to do if you think someone is having a stroke. It's easy to remember, just 3 steps. Recognize, call, protect, run through the fast check. Face, ask them to smile. Is one side drooping? Arm, ask them to lift both arms. Is one arm falling down? Speech, ask them to say a simple sentence. Are the words coming out weird? The most important thing here is, do not analyze. Do not try to figure out what's causing it. The second you notice any fast sign or any sudden strange symptom, you move to the next step immediately. Call 911 immediately. When someone picks up, say these exact words clearly. I think someone is having a stroke. Give them your exact address. If you can, note the time when the symptoms first started. Even if the symptoms start to get better while you're on the phone, do not hang up. Do not cancel the ambulance. Feeling better does not mean the danger is gone. Also, do not drive the person to the hospital yourself. An ambulance is the right choice. Paramedics can start helping right there in the ambulance. Studies show that people who arrive by ambulance get treated much faster than people who come in by car. Even if the hospital is just down the road, call the ambulance. While you're waiting for the ambulance, your job is to keep the person safe. Help them sit or lie down somewhere safe where they won't fall. If they're sitting, make sure the chair has arms. If they're lying down, turn them on their side in case they feel sick. Do not give them anything to eat or drink. A stroke can mess up the ability to swallow, which means they could choke. Stay with them. Watch for any changes. Keep them calm. Speak in a calm, steady voice. If you can do it without leaving them alone, unlock the front door so the paramedics can get in fast. 3 simple steps. Recognize, call, protect. Let's be honest about what waiting costs you during a stroke. Not to scare you, but because knowing the real consequences can push you to act fast when it counts. Paralysis is one of the most common results of waiting too long. One whole side of the body stops working. The person can't move their arm. They can't walk on their own. Losing the ability to speak is another painful result. The person can no longer say what they're thinking or feeling. They can't talk to the people they love. Some people develop something called aphasia, where they can speak but the wrong words keep coming out. Losing independence is one of the hardest things for a stroke survivor to deal with. Someone who used to take care of themselves now needs help with everything, including eating, going to the bathroom, and bathing. They may have to move into a care home or depend fully on a family member. Long, hard recovery follows. Months or even years of physical therapy to try to walk again. Speech therapy to try to talk again. Occupational therapy to try to do everyday tasks again. This process is exhausting, expensive, and often only brings back part of what was lost. The impact on the whole family is huge. Adult children leave their jobs to become full-time caregivers. Spouses take on more than they can handle. The family's money gets used up on medical bills and care. Here's the emotional truth. Feeling regret is much heavier than feeling fear. The fear of calling 911 and being wrong fades in a day or two. The regret of not calling and losing everything lasts forever. Besides waiting, there are a few other mistakes people make during a stroke that can make things even worse. A lot of people think it's faster to just drive themselves to the hospital instead of waiting for an ambulance. This is very risky. Stroke symptoms can get much worse without warning while you're driving. You could suddenly pass out, have a seizure, or lose control of your body while behind the wheel. Even if you make it to the hospital safely, you'll still have to wait in line at the front desk like everyone else. The staff won't know you're having a stroke until a doctor finally sees you and runs tests. An ambulance is completely different. The paramedics start treatment right there on the way to the hospital. They radio ahead, so the stroke team is already waiting at the door when you arrive. You skip the waiting room completely. Some people take aspirin when they think they're having a stroke because they've heard it helps with blood clots. Others take extra blood pressure medicine. This can actually make things worse. There are two types of strokes. The first type is caused by a blood clot blocking a blood vessel in the brain. The second type is caused by a blood vessel bursting and bleeding in the brain. These two types need completely opposite treatments. Blood thinners like aspirin help with the first type, but can make the second type much, much worse. You cannot tell which type you're having without a special scan at the hospital. If you guess wrong and take the wrong medicine, you could cause serious harm. Please, do not take any medicine on your own. Doctors decide which treatments to use based on how long ago the stroke started. Sometime this morning is not enough information. They need an exact time. The moment you notice stroke symptoms, look at a clock and remember that time. Tell the paramedics exactly when the symptoms started. If the person woke up with symptoms, the start time counts as when they last felt completely normal before going to sleep. In a scary moment, it's easy to forget to check the time, but make it a priority. One of the most important things you can say to a paramedic during a stroke is, symptoms started at exactly this time. Many people feel stroke symptoms when they're already tired, so they decide to lie down and rest. They tell themselves they'll see how they feel when they wake up. This is one of the most dangerous choices a person can make. Stroke symptoms do not get better with sleep. While the person is sleeping, more brain cells are dying every minute. People who go to sleep instead of calling for help often wake up hours later in a much worse state, sometimes unable to speak or move well enough to even call for help. If you ever feel any sudden, strange symptoms like the fast signs, please do not go to sleep. Do not lie down and rest. Call 911 immediately. Sleep can wait. Your brain cannot. Okay, let's take a breath. Everything we've talked about sounds scary, but here's the good news. If you act fast, the outcome can be really, really good. When stroke treatment happens quickly, the results can be amazing. The clot-breaking medicine can actually completely reverse stroke symptoms if it's given early enough. People walk out of hospitals with all their abilities fully intact because someone noticed the warning signs and called 911 right away. Doctors can also do a procedure where they go in and physically remove the clot from the blood vessel. When this is done quickly, many people make a full or almost full recovery. The brain is actually very good at healing itself when the damage is kept small by getting fast treatment. Being ready helps you stay calm. When you already know the warning signs and have a clear plan, you don't freeze up when it happens. You don't waste time wondering what to do. You already know, recognize, call, protect. That knowledge gives you power when it matters most. This isn't about being scared. It's about being ready. Talk to your family about strokes. Make sure everyone at home knows the fast signs. Have a conversation about what you would do if someone showed symptoms. Try saying out loud right now, I think someone is having a stroke. Practice those words so they come naturally if you ever need them. Keep emergency numbers easy to find. If you live alone, Think about getting a medical alert button you can press to call for help right away. Let me say the main point one more time, clearly, because your life or someone you love might one day depend on it. The one big mistake during a stroke is hesitation. Sitting down to rest, hoping it will pass, not wanting to bother anyone. Brushing it off is nothing serious. This feels so sensible at the moment, but it causes lasting damage and can end lives. Do not wait. Do not watch and hope. The moment you notice stroke warning signs, act right away. Call 911. Say clearly, "I think someone is having a stroke." Let the professionals figure out what's happening. Your only job is simple: notice it and call. During a stroke, being strong doesn't save you. Being fast does. The difference between getting back to full health and being permanently disabled often comes down to just a few minutes. And those minutes are in your hands. You decide whether to wait or act. Every stroke survivor who waited says the same thing afterward. "I wish I had called sooner. I didn't think it was serious. I thought it would go away on its own." These are heartbreaking words because the damage was completely avoidable. Don't let waiting steal your independence, your abilities, or your life. Share this video with someone over 60. Send it to your parents, your grandparents, your elderly neighbors. Talk about it today. Ask each other, what would we do if we saw the fast signs? Practice calling 911 in your head and saying, "I think someone is having a stroke." This preparation could save a life. It could save your life. Remember, recognize, call, protect. Every second counts during a stroke, and waiting is the enemy. If this video helped you understand the one mistake that can make stroke recovery impossible and what to do instead, please share it with someone who needs to see it. Subscribe to Knowhow for more clear, helpful health content that could save lives. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an important video. Thank you for watching and for trusting me to share why speed, not strength, saves lives during a stroke. See you in the next video.